Hello everyone, I'm Detective Brandy George with the Mesa Police Department.
Love one another. That's the message today. Anyway, we got more emails. Shockingly, they're not good. Let's go over some of them, shall we? Appreciate you subscribing to my channel. If you're not subscribed and you're new here, you should definitely consider subscribing because I don't give a fuck and I just like putting things out. Obviously, I gotta follow YouTube rules. Duh. Anyway, these emails are from the Mesa Police Department, and again, I'll preface this by telling you that they are 2 years old. These are 2 years old. This isn't anything that happened recently, so no need for alarm right this second kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? These are old, and there's a reason that they're 2 years old. I explained it before. I'm not going to do it again. We're going to start this off by mentioning how this is tied to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, the legislation. If you guys remember, there was a bunch of people that were charged with like ACAB gang stuff in Phoenix. It's part of the reason that the Department of Justice is in Phoenix, supposedly investigating them.
You're about to see the scandal is far from over.
In our politically charged investigation, we expose Phoenix police and county prosecutors inventing a gang, then falsely charging protesters as members. Tonight, ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biscobing just obtained new texts and emails, and as you're about to see, they directly connect the county attorney, Phoenix police chief, and even a city councilman.
Ever since we broke the story, top leaders have distanced themselves from the decision to charge these protesters as gang members. But that will be harder to do after tonight. These never-before-seen texts and emails were included in new legal claims, and that means even more lawsuits are likely.
For months, this group of protesters faced criminal gang charges, dozens of years in prison. The case was built on wild lies and exaggerations. One example, police and prosecutors told a grand jury the group was like the Bloods, Crips, and Hells Angels. County Attorney Alistair Adell's office was ultimately responsible for bringing the false gang charges.
So for months, she was saying, I wasn't aware. I only had a snippet of information. I wasn't exactly aware. Did you ever believe that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Joe Larios is with Mass Liberation AZ. The activist organization defended the falsely charged protesters from the beginning. We brought him in to get reaction to the new evidence.
And here, just read these. These are text messages between the top staff.
Before we show you the proof, first a quick timeline. October 17th, 2020, the group of protesters is arrested. Then 10 days later, the grand jury indicted them on the gang charges. Between October 30th and November 3rd, Adele and her top aides exchanged repeated messages about how to respond to news reports. In this text, the PR director asks if the county attorney is okay with the statement. Adele responds, yes.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about it, it's like she spent most of 2021 lying to the public about this.
Nowhere in the messages does it show Adele or her top staff were surprised at the gang charges or worried about them. The new notice of claim also shows MCAO executives kept a, quote, riot tracker spreadsheet to track protest cases for their own review.
Rather than questioning about whether or not she knew, it's clear she knew. I think the thing that we got to start looking at is how much time was she spending lying to buy time to essentially cover all of this up?
3 months after those emails and texts, with no one raising any alarms, on February 4th, 2021, we launched our politically charged investigation, proving the basis for those gang charges was absurd. Because some wore black, had umbrellas, and chanted all cops are bastards, they were labeled the ACAB gang. The newly released texts show panic set in at MCAO in the days after our investigation. On February 12th, MCAO's PR director texted Adele, from a PR perspective, these cases need to be dismissed. We have grossly overcharged these folks. Adele responded, I agree. The PR person added, Division Chief Vince Goddard is picking the wrong case to hold Antifa responsible. Basically, they found a protest. They saw some kids, mostly, that they didn't like. And they're like, hey, we're going to hold Antifa responsible by creating a fake gang.
Well, it speaks to the culture of that office to politically prosecute, to go after political opponents.
Major breaking news: cases dismissed tonight.
February 12th, also the day MCAO dropped the gang charges. Then the day after, the claim alleges one of Adele's top staffers forwarded her this text from Phoenix City Council member Sal DeCiccio. I didn't want to text you on a Saturday, but my phone has been ringing off the hook all morning from the police. One of the questions they had is, can we refile and what is needed?
Pretty clear that they're willing to weaponize their offices to go after the people that they don't like.
In response, Adele texted in part, I spoke to Britt last night and told him the same thing I told JW. While we are dismissing, we will be reevaluating the cases. I think you should simply just reiterate that to Sal. Britt London is the head of the police union. JW, the initials of Chief Jerry Williams.
Because Jerry Williams said, I didn't know, it was a bad idea. What do you think this says?
That she's lying about it.
I mean, she could have stepped in right here and spoke out and said this needs to go away.
Absolutely. There's been multiple moments to do the right thing, but it seems like they're all in on it and they would rather cover their own tracks.
Yeah, we're working through that in policy.
This was Chief Williams in August 2021, 6 months later, denouncing the gang charges publicly for the first time.
Gang charges against the demonstrators should have never happened. It was a bad idea. Systems were bypassed. Personnel matters were bypassed.
Because of the intense embarrassment from our reports, both Phoenix and MCAO ordered outside investigations into the gang charges. But check those final reports that cost taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars. You won't find the text messages and emails you just saw in this story.
Do you think that they turned him over? Do you think maybe they hit him? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, it does seem like there's a mass cover-up going on. And it does seem like the culture that's operating from both the city of Phoenix, Phoenix PD, and MCAO is that they're above the law.
Alistair Adele, I think that was her name, was the county attorney at the time. She's mentioned, not by name, but the county attorney is mentioned in here, Alistair Adele. And then who else was, Jerry Williams, her special police assistant detail is mentioned in here. Mesa Police Department's PIOs, their public faces that you guys would see on any of their news briefings or YouTube videos. They all in here, guys. Anyway, I don't know how this started, really, this conversation, but it's from Ryan Stokes. It's sent to Robert Rash. It says, we can chat in the morning, but after talking to several other agencies and the county attorney at the time was Alistair. Damn, I hope I'm saying her name right. Alistair Adele. I know it's Adele. I don't know, maybe something like that. Somebody will correct me in the chat when I'm wrong. Anyway, regarding the ACAB case that was dropped. We can chat in the morning, but after talking to several other agencies and the county attorney regarding the ACAB case that was dropped, they want a documented history of every time they come around and start filming to show a pattern of harassment. We have not done ourselves any favors as a department by just be quiet and they will go away. By just being quiet and they will go, something like that. But what they're saying right here is, we can chat in the morning, but after talking to several other agencies and the county attorney regarding the ACAB case that was dropped, they want a documented history of every time they come around and start filming to show a pattern of harassment. Now this ties in with HB 2319, the whole 10-foot or 15-foot and then 8-foot rule. You know, the law that got passed and then the federal judge just struck all that stuff down. This is directly tied to that.
8 feet. That's how far away you'd have to be from police to record them if a new bill at the legislature becomes law.
And some now calling the bill unconstitutional. Tonight we have team coverage on how this bill could impact you and how some plan to fight back.
We begin with our Mark Phillips.
Citizen use of cell phone cameras to record police conduct is commonplace. Recently, a video of Phoenix police officers confronting 4 men during a stolen car investigation surfaced when one of the officers struck a 13-year-old girl after she failed to comply with police requests to move back.
This bill doesn't stop anybody from getting a good picture.
During the incident with police, officers asked the group who had moved in to record the events to back away.
My bill balances the need to protect police officers from danger and to preserve evidence from being destroyed or discarded with the recognized constitutional right of people to film police officers performing their duties.
Kavanaugh has made changes to the bill, reducing the distance someone can record police from 15 to 8 feet, and allowing a person to video record their own police encounter. But the ACLU says even with the changes, the law is still unconstitutional.
It is still an unconstitutional limitation on the very clearly established First Amendment right of members of the public to record police.
The bill goes before the Senate Rules Committee Monday. If it thinks it's constitutional, the full Senate will decide it later in the week. On its journey through the legislature, only Republicans have voted for this bill. Mark Phillips, ABC 15, Arizona.
The bill's sponsor says his intent is to prevent police from being distracted at crime scenes, but so-called cop watchers say it violates their First Amendment rights. ABC 15 investigator Melissa Blasius talks to two of them who say the law won't change what they do.
They're just creating a law right now just to control us because they don't like what we're doing.
Chris Ruff has millions of views on his DirectD YouTube page, and Darian Barrett's from Tempe Against Police Violence.
Mine's rolling too, you're live streaming.
Some may find their actions annoying and disrespectful.
I'm going right here, I'm going next to the police cars.
If you refuse to listen to us, you're going to go to jail.
But the cop watchers say that their actions, using their cell phones to videotape police out on the streets and even to argue with officers, are protected by the First Amendment's freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom to protest.
They created this law for us, you guys. I started talking about this a long time ago. At one of my, right before I got arrested, at one of my hotel arrest videos that Lackluster shared. You can hear me telling the cop, Ed Westing ain't smart. We know about the law you're trying to get passed.
You guys look like fools, man, putting up all this tape for a stop.
Do you think this is going to help when you guys try and get them laws passed? Approach them and cause chaos. We know what the game is, dude. Did you get all of us? Did you get all of us on body? Shut up, mother. Yeah, get me on body cam saying dumb shit so you can get a law passed. Ed Westing ain't smart. We know what the game is. Bye-bye, sucker.
That was a year before it was in anybody's mind besides the people that were behind the scenes trying to create it. What they wanted to do was collect videos to show a pattern of harassment, alleged harassment by us somehow, by coming up and filming them. And what they were told to do, which is not mentioned in here, is to engage with us and try to get me and others to act aggressively and tell them no, so they can take these videos to John Kavanaugh, who's the guy that wrote all this up, who the police called because he's a former police officer. Definitely don't vote that guy into anything else if you're going to vote at all. But John Kavanaugh is a name you need to stay away from if you're a voter. But yeah, ACAB case that was dropped. They want to show a pattern of harassment. Talking to several other agencies and the county attorney. You guys are dirty. So that email was in response to this one. Would we take a report on any other citizen filming us unless they were interfering with our operations? Now that's a good question. Somebody's got, some at least reasonable thinking there. I'm playing devil's advocate here, but I don't want our bulletin to generate officers now engaging auditors or attempting to push the envelope to get info on them. I think the instruction needs to be worded differently. I also believe a bulletin such as this has the potential to be used, against us if it were to somehow be leaked to auditors, or they make a specific public request for bulletins related to auditors. Wow. Was Gina wanting that type of direction to officers? Gina is one of the command staff at the Mesa Police Department. Gina Nisbet, whatever If 5 of these guys are filming but not interfering in police operations, does that warrant a police report alone? We can discuss further. That said, I do believe there is potential for these auditors to escalate when they do not get the reaction an incident they are so desperately seeking, and they will cross a line that places an officer at risk. Let's talk in the morning. When we don't get the reaction that we want, we go to a different city. It's not that we're looking or we want a reaction. I don't want anything. When I show up and I stand there quietly and then you guys come up and you say anything to me at all, how is that me wanting something? How is me standing there quietly wanting something? Now, we can't deny now, after hundreds of videos that I've put out, that I don't show up and just start talking to the police and calling them names and shit. Yeah, sometimes I talk to the people that they have detained. I'm not talking to the cop. I'm not distracting them, nothing. I don't want any interaction with them. They're always the one that got to say something to us. Why? I don't want an interaction with you. I've been telling you that shit for years in all my videos, and it ain't gotten through nobody's thick skull. Anyway, I'm going to move on. Christopher Adamczyk. Yeah, there's some eyebrows being raised right now that I'm saying this. I already know you suckers are watching. And Christopher is spelled the same as mine, Christopher. Adam, A-D-A-M, Zyk, C-Z-Y-K, C-Z-Y-K, Adam, C-Z-Y-K. Here are my thoughts on the 1A people. These people do not represent the citizenry of Mesa. No, they don't. We represent America. They are a niche group of extremists who view law enforcement as tyrants, thieves, and abusers. We've ceded so much ground to them that they are now in control. And they know it. We failed to set boundaries early, and they continue to escalate. Our policies of appeasement and deconfliction has allowed them to create chaos. Mass emails, phone storms, abuse of comm operators. You've abused comm operators, people. You're not, be nice, sensitive. Remember I told you in the last one, sensitive. We don't hold them accountable when they lie. Ex-Cobra, lying about officer-involved shooting. Patrol has all but begged. They've begged ICU for help for at least 2 years. It's as simple as this. The current course of action isn't working. I found them. We're going to finish off this video with another dramatic reading of a police report from very sensitive officers. Looks like we arrested Chris Ruff this morning. Expect trouble. But this is Mesa's PIO right now. Brandy George.
Hello, everyone. I'm Detective Brandy George with the Mesa Police Department. This critical incident community briefing will provide you with information and learn about evidence and police procedures related to this case so you can better understand what happened.
Mesa ICU. It's from Brandy George to Mesa ICU. And then Phoenix government was CC'd. First Amendment auditors. Hello, all. Hello, all. I got a call from Officer Caserta. Officer Caserta, C-A-S-E-R-T-A, with Phoenix PD. Seems some of our First Amendment auditors have been venturing their way. Officer Caserta is trying to gather intelligence to send to their ACTIC, ACTIC. Most importantly, getting identification on them. The 3 people in question so far are Spittin' Cobra, and then they've got his name, Direct D, and then they've got dude's name, but his YouTube channel is Caught You Slippin' Audits. Be sure to go subscribe to all of them since they want to mention them here. Anything you have to help our partners out is appreciated. Detective Brandy George, badge number 15470. Public Information Officer, Media Relations Officer. And then they go on to have Arizona Auditor's picture in here. Bam! Go subscribe to Arizona Auditor. One of my first arrests in Mesa, Arizona was in March, I believe, of 2021. I got arrested by Officer Solace and Jay Blake. Now, Jay Blake is in one of my... I didn't recognize him at the time, but he's in... If you go to low voltage brain functionality video, that's the thumbnail title on the top, and there's the dude leaning in the window. Jay Blake is the cop that's at that traffic stop. At the time, I didn't recognize him, but he was at one of my arrests when Officer Solace arrested me. And I made a post about this on YouTube. They took a screenshot of this 27 minutes after I made this post. 27 minutes after I made this post. Look at that. That's a screenshot that says, that's a post that I made on YouTube years ago. Somebody took a screenshot and emailed it. It's from Nicholas Rashida, Rasheta, to Brian Soiler, William Peters, Ed Wessing, so the chief, the assistant chief, and then the city attorney, Jeffrey Balin. And then the reply is Copwatch contact the subject. Arrested for filming, and then it included some comments right here, and this is when I had 6,000, look at that, 6,000 subscribers, and the only one is about a lawyer. And then they sent these emails to the city attorney, so they're just worried about lawsuits. That's all it is. They arrest you and they fuck with you because they're worried about lawsuits. That's it. All right, you guys, I have a very heartfelt email. It's actually pretty simply written. The report that was written by Dwayne Lunsford, and that's spelled D-W-A-Y-N-E, Lunsford, L-U-N-S-F-O-R-D. Saturday, March 3rd, 2021, 10:30 a.m. Officer Solace, badge number 17363, and Officer in Training Blake, excuse me, badge number 23462, performed a traffic stop on a vehicle for speeding. They stopped somebody on their way to work because they didn't like how fast they were going. The government didn't like how fast they were going. But anyway, an unidentified male subject then approached the traffic stop and began filming with his phone. This male was extremely close to both officers. The officers repeatedly advised the male subject to back away from them. While they were performing the traffic stop, the male subject refused. Officer Solace then detained the male subject. The female driver, unrelated to the male, was identified and released with a warning referral. Reference the initial traffic stop. Howdy.
Hey, how you doing?
How's you guys' day going?
Not too bad. Hey, can you keep walking? You can film. Just keep walking over there.
What's your name and badge number, field training officer?
Go over there.
What's your name and badge
We'll
number?
deal with that later. You need to move.
This is a public sidewalk, right?
You need to move.
This is a public
Seriously.
sidewalk. You
You need to move. You need to go back. I'm dealing with this. You're now interfering with our investigation. You can go over there.
Interfering is a physical act. Are
You
guys
need
all
to go.
stupid
Go.
or what?
Go.
No, you know what? Fuck you. I'm on
Dude,
a public
if you
sidewalk.
don't leave to that part over there,
This is
I'm
a
dealing with
public
the
sidewalk.
I'm dealing
Call
with the
your supervisor.
investigation.
Call your supervisor.
I'm doing an investigation right here. If you don't move back over there, so I can deal with this
Jay Blake
investigation.
with the Mesa PD.
If you don't move, you're going to get arrested.
Badge number, nothing. But yeah, that's what happened. I got convicted of that, you guys, of not listening to a cop. Mind-blowing, right? I got convicted of something that they tried to create a law for, and a federal judge shot it down, but I still got... That's how you know that they do whatever they want. The rules don't apply to you and me, and we're all just sheep roaming around in a giant field. These emails get better. Bye-bye.